All right, so we're diving into Genesis today.
Okay.
And, when you think about Genesis, you probably think, oh, bunch of like old stories,
Right.
Adam and Eve, Noah's Ark, the kind of stuff.
The Sunday school version.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but you shared this video with us called The Book of Genesis Timeline, the real story. It's on YouTube on the Ear to Hear channel.
Okay.
And it kind of drops this bomb at the beginning that Genesis isn't just like a random collection of weird stories,
Okay.
but actually one continuous story.
Mm-hmm.
And it all boils down to two choices
Interesting.
that are offered to everybody.
Like a framework almost.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a framework for understanding the whole
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. And
Yeah, no, that's a great way to kind of reframe it because, a lot of people find Genesis kind of inaccessible
yeah.
or just kind of like a bunch of random stories, like you said.
Yeah.
So if we can find that through line, I think it's really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do today in this deep dive is really try to unpack
Okay.
what this video is presenting as the core narrative
Okay.
of Genesis.
Sounds good.
So looking at the key events, the promises that are made,
Mm-hmm.
and then just the big themes that it brings out.
Yeah, it's interesting how a single theme can actually really kind of illuminate a lot of these stories
Yeah.
and help them make sense.
Yeah, and this video is really helpful for that because it is a timeline of the
Yes.
whole book.
Okay.
And it's saying, hey, look,
Yeah.
all these seemingly separate incidents
Right.
are actually pieces of the same story.
I see.
So yeah, let's jump in.
Okay, let's do it.
So it starts with creation.
Okay.
And, in the first 3 days, God creates these three sort of realms,
Mhm.
light and darkness, the waters and the sky,
Right.
and then the dry land.
Yeah.
And then in the next 3 days, he populates them, right? So you have the sun, moon, and stars in the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
You have the fish and birds in the waters in the sky,
Yeah.
and then the animals on the land.
Familiar territory.
Yeah, very familiar Genesis territory.
Yeah.
But what I thought was interesting was the emphasis this video puts on the rulers
Oh, interesting.
of each realm.
Okay.
So it's like setting us up for
Yeah.
this idea of rulership.
Okay, so what's the significance there?
Well, then it gets to humans, right? And humans are created in God's image.
Right.
And the video is quick to point out that this doesn't mean that we physically look like God.
Yeah, that's a common misunderstanding.
Yeah, but what it means is that we are meant to represent God
Okay.
and to rule over all of creation on his behalf.
So we're like his ambassadors almost.
Yeah, exactly. And
That's a cool way to think about it.
And so we are designed to reflect God's character
Mm-hmm.
and then exercise dominion over the earth.
Okay, so that's kind of like the ideal original state of things.
Yeah, it's that initial harmony and peace, culminating in God resting on the seventh day.
Right.
So everything is good, everything is perfect.
Yeah, there's the Sabbath, the day of rest. It's like a culmination of creation.
Yeah.
A complete.
Yeah, it's like everything is how it's supposed to be.
Right.
But of course it doesn't last.
Like the full.
Yeah, so
Right.
enter the spiritual rebel, Satan,
Okay.
who in this story takes the form of a snake.
Right. The serpent.
Yeah. And he convinces Adam and Eve to disobey God's one command.
Right.
And so this is like the first instance of these two choices.
Okay.
Right. You can obey, you can disobey.
Yeah.
And obviously they choose to disobey, and that has huge consequences.
Yeah. I mean, the whole world changes
Yeah.
at that point.
Not only is the world cursed, but Satan himself is cursed.
Right.
And humans are cast out of God's presence.
Yeah. Separated from their creator.
Yeah. It's like
A huge deal.
this huge fall from grace.
Yeah. And you can see how that choice that they made ripples throughout the rest of the story.
Yeah, exactly. And it sets up everything that follows.
Totally.
But even in the midst of these consequences,
Yeah.
God makes a promise.
So,
This is the first big promise that the video highlights.
all right, let's hear it.
So he says that a future descendant of Eve,
Okay.
a righteous human, will crush Satan,
Wow.
but Satan will bruise his heel in the process.
So it's a victory, but it's not without cost.
Yeah, it's very interesting that it's phrased like that.
Yeah. It's like there's a hint of suffering
Yeah,
in that
a
victory.
very strange promise.
Right. And it kind of foreshadows what's to come.
Yeah, and the video really highlights that.
Okay. So we've got choice, we've got consequence, and now we've got a promise.
Yes.
So what happens next?
Well, then we get to Cain and Abel.
Okay.
So the first children born into this world.
Yeah. The first humans born after the fall.
Yeah, and they grow up hearing about their parents' life in the garden.
Right. Like a paradise lost.
Yeah, exactly. And they can't even imagine what that was like.
Yeah, so how do they respond to that?
Well, they both tried to demonstrate their devotion to God by offering him gifts.
So they're trying to connect with God in some way.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it shows that even though they're separated from God, there's still this inherent desire.
Yeah, to reach out.
Yeah, to reach out to him.
Yeah.
But then things get messy.
Oh, no.
Because God looks favorably upon Abel's offering,
Okay.
but not upon Cain's.
So Cain's not happy about that.
No, he gets really jealous.
Okay.
And this jealousy leads him to murder Abel.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty brutal consequence.
Yeah, that's taking it to the extreme.
Yeah, and the video points out that, again, this is like a repetition of that first choice.
Right.
So just like Adam and Eve failed to rule over the serpent's influence,
Yeah.
Cain fails to rule over his own
evil impulses.
Yeah.
So it's like a generational pattern of making the wrong choice.
Exactly, and it has devastating consequences.
Right.
But then there's this other twist, which is that even after this horrific act, God shows mercy to Cain.
Interesting.
Yeah, he protects him.
So it's not just like immediate judgment.
No, and it's interesting because it's a different response than what we saw with Adam and Eve.
Right, so there's like a nuance to God's justice.
Yeah, it's like there are consequences, but there's also this element of grace.
Yeah, it's not just black and white.
Yeah.
It's more complicated than that.
Okay, so now we jump ahead a few generations, and things start to get a little creepy.
Oh, boy.
So about 8 generations down from Cain, we get this story of the sons of God intermarrying with human women.
Now, this is where things get a little weird.
Yeah, this is one of those parts of Genesis that always kind of makes people scratch their heads.
Right.
And the video, based on some Old Testament passages, interprets the sons of God as angels.
So angels having children with humans.
Yeah, and the offspring are these beings called the Nephilim.
Nephilim.
Yeah, and they're described as being incredibly large and powerful.
So basically giants.
Yeah, giants. And the video mentions that other ancient texts, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, also talk about giants.
Right, they're kind of a common theme in ancient mythology.
Yeah, and they're often portrayed as heroes.
Okay.
But the Bible presents a very different perspective.
Oh, interesting. So how so?
Well, in the Bible, they're seen as part of this, like, widespread evil.
So they're not the good guys.
No, they're definitely not the good guys.
So what's so bad about them? I mean, they're just big, right?
Well, the video suggests that it's not just their size.
Okay.
But it's also that they represent this kind of corruption of God's plan.
Okay, how so?
Well, remember, God promised that a righteous human descendant would crush Satan.
Right.
But these Nephilim are like this unnatural hybrid.
Okay.
And they're all about power and self-exaltation.
So they're kind of like a distraction from God's plan.
Yeah, and they're muddying the waters of that original promise.
I see.
And so things escalate to the point where God decides to flood the entire earth.
Wow.
To wipe out this evil and start over.
That's a pretty drastic measure.
Yeah, it's like a global reset.
And this is where Noah comes in.
Yeah, God chooses Noah, who's described as a righteous man, to build an ark and save his family and the animals.
Right, the classic Noah's Ark story.
Yeah, and I know this part always brings up a lot of questions.
Yeah, like how big was the ark?
Right? How did he get all the animals on there?
Yeah, and how long did it take to build?
Yeah, so the video addresses some of those.
Okay, good.
For example, it points to the Ark Encounter replica.
Oh, okay.
Which suggests that the Ark was huge.
Huge, like how?
Like comparable to a modern cargo ship.
Wow, that's massive.
Yeah, and it also proposes that Noah might have had 55 to 75 years to build it.
Okay, that's a lot more time than people usually think.
Yeah, and it's possible he had help.
Right, he probably didn't do it all by himself.
Right, so it's not as inconceivable.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
As people sometimes think.
Okay, so what about the animals?
Well, the Bible says 2 of every kind.
Right.
It's not necessarily every single species.
Oh, that's an important distinction.
Yeah, so it's not like Noah had to round up every single type of beetle.
Right.
The video gives the example of a wolf and a chihuahua.
Okay.
Both canines.
Yeah.
But very different.
Right.
And so through genetic variation, you know, they can produce
a lot of different offspring.
Yeah, and the video also suggests that the animals could have been younger.
Right, so they wouldn't need as much space?
Exactly. So the logistics are maybe not as crazy as people think.
Okay, so Noah, his family, the animals, they all survive the flood.
Yes.
What happens next?
Well, once the waters recede, Noah offers a sacrifice to God.
Okay.
And God renews his command for humanity to multiply and fill the earth.
So like a second chance.
Yeah, and to reflect his image across the world.
Okay.
And Noah has 3 sons.
Right. Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Yeah, And the video points out that all the nations of the world descended from these three sons.
Interesting.
Yeah, it gives the example of Ham's son, Misraim,
Okay.
whose name in Hebrew means Egypt,
Wow, so that's where the Egyptians came from?
according to this video.
Okay.
But then we get to this strange episode,
Yeah.
the curse that Noah pronounces on Canaan.
Yeah, that's always been a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, it seems kind of random.
Yeah, like why Canaan?
Well, the video offers a really interesting interpretation.
Okay.
So it draws on the idea that in Hebrew, there were certain phrases that had like a secondary meaning.
Okay. It's like an idiot.
Yeah, like an idiom.
Gotcha.
And it suggests that Ham seeing Noah's nakedness
Right.
wasn't just like an accidental glance,
Okay.
but actually a euphemism for something much worse.
Like what?
Well, possibly sleeping with Noah's wife.
Oh, wow. That's a very different interpretation.
Yeah, and so it was like a power grab,
Right.
like a disrespect of patriarchal authority.
Okay.
And so Canaan, who's born from this union,
Okay.
becomes the recipient of the curse.
So it's not just random.
No, it's actually connected to
It's
this.
just acts.
Yeah, to this hidden act.
That's a fascinating interpretation.
Yeah, and it kind of sets up future conflicts between Israel and the Canaanites.
Okay, so it has implications for the rest of the story.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
So, okay, now instead of spreading out and filling the earth as God commanded,
Mm.
the descendants of Noah's sons decide to build a tower,
Okay.
the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
And their intention is to make a name for themselves.
So it's all about their own glory.
Yeah, they're basically putting themselves in God's place.
Right.
And the video identifies this tower as a ziggurat.
Okay, so like a stepped pyramid.
Yeah, like a temple structure
Right.
that was common in ancient Mesopotamia.
Okay.
But unlike temples that were genuinely dedicated to worshiping God,
Yeah.
this tower was motivated by pride and self-exaltation.
So it's like a counterfeit worship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Interesting.
And God is not happy about this.
Right.
So he confuses their languages.
Right. So they can't communicate.
Yeah, and this forces them to scatter across the earth,
That's how languages came about.
according to the story.
Yeah.
The video mentions that the location of Babel is likely in present-day Iraq,
Okay.
and that Babel is actually where we get the name Babylon.
Interesting.
And there's archaeological evidence of
Yeah.
a massive ziggurat foundation in that area.
Wow. So there could be some real world connection.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But here's the really shocking part.
Okay. I'm ready.
So the video suggests that God didn't just punish them by confusing their languages,
Okay.
but he also kind of gave them over to other things to worship.
Like what?
The sons of God.
Oh, wow. So those fallen angels.
Yeah.
So they're worshiping these beings instead of the one true God.
Yeah, and the video references Deuteronomy chapter 32,
Okay.
which talks about God dividing the nations
Right.
and seemingly assigning them to these lesser divine beings.
That's a little unsettling.
It is a little unsettling.
It's like, is God orchestrating the worship of false gods?
Yeah, it's a very challenging concept, and
Yeah.
it raises a lot of questions.
Right.
But the video's point is that after Babel, the scattered nations began to worship these angelic beings as their own gods.
And that's where we get all the idol worship and polytheism.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a really different way of looking at it.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so we've got this backdrop of widespread idol worship,
Yeah.
and then we're introduced to Abraham.
Yeah, so Abraham is a descendant of Shem.
Okay.
And what's interesting is that the book of Joshua
Yeah.
actually tells us that Abraham's own family
Mm.
were involved in idol worship.
So he's not coming from a line of like super devout people.
No.
So God chose him out of that.
Yeah, it's like God chooses this very unlikely person
Yeah.
to start his covenant plan.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it.
It is, yeah.
So what happens with Abraham?
Well, the video kind of gives us a quick overview of his life,
Okay.
highlighting all these key events that really show his complex character.
Okay.
So we see his faith when he answers God's call to leave his homeland
Right.
and become a blessing to others.
Yeah.
But we also see his moments of doubt and fear.
Right, like when he lies to Pharaoh.
Yeah, exactly. And then we see his unwavering belief in God's promise of a son,
Mm-hmm.
but then he tries to force that promise.
Oh, right, with Hagar.
Yeah, with
Okay.
Hagar.
Yeah.
And then we see his compassion in interceding for Sodom.
Right, trying to save the city.
Yeah, and then, of course, the ultimate test of his faith.
Oh, yeah, the sacrifice of Isaac.
Yeah,
That's a tough one.
it is. And then finally we see his death.
So it's like a whole life.
Yeah, and it's a really great example of those two choices.
Right, he makes both good choices and bad choices.
Yeah, and we see the consequences
Yeah.
of both.
Okay, so what happens after Abraham?
Well, then we move on to Isaac and Jacob.
Okay.
And this is where it gets really interesting,
Oh, how so?
because God chooses to bless Jacob.
Oh.
The younger son.
Right, which is unusual.
Very unusual.
Yeah, the younger son doesn't usually get the blessing.
Right. And the video explains that this signifies that the lineage leading to the promised one,
Okay.
the Satan-crushing savior, will come through Jacob, not Esau.
So God's choosing a specific line,
Yeah.
you know.
Interesting. And so this really emphasizes that God's plans don't always follow human expectation.
Right, God's in control.
Yeah, he's sovereign.
Yeah.
And he chooses who he will bless
Okay.
and through whom his purposes will be accomplished.
So Jacob's the chosen one.
Okay, yeah. And he receives the same promise that was given to Abraham, that through his descendants, all the nations of the world will be blessed.
So this is like a reversal of Babel.
Yeah, exactly, because Babel was all about division.
Right.
And this promise is about bringing everyone together.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, and it's still unfolding today.
What do you mean?
Well, the idea that through this lineage, all the nations will be blessed
Right.
is something that we're still seeing happening
I see.
through the spread of the gospel and the work of the church.
Okay, so it's not just an ancient promise.
Oh, no, it's an ongoing promise.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens in Jacob's life?
Well, he's not exactly a saint.
Oh, no. What did he do?
He deceives his father to get Isaac's blessing,
Oh, yeah.
and then he has to flee from his brother Esau,
Right.
who wants to kill him.
So he's on the run.
Yeah, and on his journey, he has that famous dream at Bethel.
Oh, yeah, the ladder to heaven.
Yeah, with the angels going up and down.
Yeah.
And God standing at the top.
That's a powerful image.
Yeah, and the video contrasts this image
Okay.
with the Tower of Babel.
Oh, interesting.
So the Tower of Babel was humanity's attempt to reach heaven on their own terms,
Right.
but this ladder
Yeah.
represents God's initiative
Oh.
in bridging the gap.
So it's God reaching down to us
Yeah, exactly.
instead of us trying to reach up to him.
Yeah, and at the top of that ladder,
Yeah.
God reaffirms the promise that he will establish his kingdom
Okay.
through Jacob's descendants.
So that's the third big promise.
Yeah, and it's important to note that it's on God's terms.
Right. Not through human ambition.
Exactly.
It's different from Babel.
Yeah, completely different.
Okay, so what else happens to Jacob?
Well, he spends a lot of time with his uncle Laban.
Okay.
He gets tricked into marrying Leah before Rachel.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, he works for his wives and livestock.
Wow.
He has more encounters with angels.
Okay.
And then there's that bizarre story of him wrestling with a man.
Oh, yeah, I've always wondered about that.
Yeah, it's a very strange story.
Yeah, who is that guy?
Well, a lot of people interpret it as Jacob wrestling with God himself.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's this like pivotal moment of transformation for him.
Okay.
It signifies his struggle with God
Right.
and his dependence on him.
And his name is changed to Israel.
Yeah, which means struggles with God.
So it's like a new identity.
Yeah, he's no longer Jacob.
Right.
He's Israel.
Okay, so he's been marked by this encounter.
Yeah, and he even declares that he's seen God face to face.
That's a pretty bold claim.
It is, yeah.
So he's a changed man.
Yeah, he eventually reconciles with Esau,
Okay, good.
although there's still some family drama.
Oh, no, what happens?
Well, there's that disturbing incident involving the deception of Shechem.
Right by Jacob's sons.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a messy story.
it is. And then finally, we're introduced to Jacob's 12 sons.
Right, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah, and they each come from one of his 4 wives.
Okay.
But then the video shifts its focus to one son in particular,
Okay, who's that, though?
Joseph,
Okay.
who was Jacob's favorite.
Right.
And it makes this really interesting argument
Okay, I'm intrigued.
that Joseph's life is like a miniature version of Genesis.
Oh, wow, like a microcosm.
Yeah, exactly. So how so? Well, think about it. He has these dreams of future prominence,
Okay.
which echoes God's original intention for humanity to rule.
All right.
His brothers are jealous and they sell him into slavery.
Oh, yeah, just like Cain and Abel.
Yeah, and then he finds favor in Egypt,
Okay.
much like Abraham did in Canaan.
Right.
And then he resists the temptations of Potiphar's wife.
Right. He stays faithful.
Yeah, and that's reminiscent of the promised one who would overcome the serpent.
Right. And then he's unjustly imprisoned despite his righteousness.
Yeah, kind of like a foreshadowing of the suffering of Christ.
Yeah. And then he rises to become second in command in Egypt,
Wow.
representing Pharaoh's authority.
Right.
Just like humanity was meant to represent God's authority.
I see.
And then he saves his family from famine.
Okay.
Just like Noah saved humanity from the flood.
Wow, the parallels are amazing.
They are. And then just as Noah and Jacob blessed their sons,
Yeah.
Jacob blesses his 12 sons before he dies.
So it's like all these themes from Genesis are playing out in Joseph's life.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
That's a really cool way to look at it.
And then after Jacob dies, Joseph makes this really profound statement.
What's that?
He says, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good."
Wow.
And the video argues that this statement really captures the essence of Genesis.
How so?
Well, it's about God's ability to bring good out of evil,
Right.
to take our mistakes and our bad choices and turn them into something positive. So it's like he's working behind the scenes.
Yeah, and he's always working towards his ultimate purposes.
Even when we mess up.
Even when we mess up.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, but the video also points out that Joseph eventually dies,
Right.
which is a reminder that the curse hasn't been fully broken yet.
Okay, so there's still more to the story.
Yeah, it's like the happy ending isn't here yet,
Right.
but it's coming.
Okay, so how does that all connect to Jesus?
Well, the video explains that Jesus is the ultimate descendant of Jacob,
Okay.
who triumphs over death and offers eternal life.
Right.
And so he fulfills that first promise by crushing Satan,
Okay.
although he himself is wounded in the process through his crucifixion.
Right, he's bruised in the heel.
Yeah, exactly. And then the division caused by Babel is reversed through Christ.
How so?
Well, now people from all nations
Yeah.
have the opportunity to know God
Right.
and become one spiritual family.
Through faith in Jesus.
Yeah, and the video connects this to modern day missions, like the spreading of the gospel around the world.
Right, so we're still seeing that promise being fulfilled today.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And then finally, that third promise of God establishing his kingdom on earth
Yeah.
is going to be fulfilled at Christ's second coming.
Oh,
And the video references the book of Revelation
right.
as the source for understanding how that's going to happen.
So it's like a future fulfillment.
Yeah, it's like the final chapter of this story.
Wow. It's pretty amazing to see how it all connects.
It is, yeah. So this deep dive into Genesis, guided by this video,
Yeah.
has revealed this like incredibly cohesive narrative.
Yeah, it's not just random stories.
No, it's all connected.
And it's all about these choices.
Yeah, and God's plan of redemption,
Right.
despite our failures.
It's a hopeful message.
It is, yeah. And I think what really stood out to me were some of those unexpected interpretations.
Oh, yeah. What were some of those?
Well, like the Nephilim.
Right. Those giants.
Yeah, and then the perspective on Ham's actions.
Yeah. That was a new one for me.
Yeah, and then the connection between Babel and the worship of false gods.
Yeah, that was pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, and then just the whole idea of Joseph's life
Right.
being like a miniature Genesis.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It's like all these little details
Yeah.
that you might not notice at first,
Right.
but when you start to see the connections, it's like, wow.
It all fits together.
Yeah, and it makes you realize that there's so much more to this story
Yeah,
than
definitely.
you might think.
So much depth.
Yeah.
So much relevance for us today, even though it's such an ancient text.
Yeah. So I guess our final thought for you, the listener,
Yeah.
is how do these themes of choice, rebellion, promise, and redemption
Yeah.
resonate with your own life?
Right.
Like, how are you seeing these themes play out?
In your own journey.
Yeah, in your own journey.
And in the world around us.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not just an ancient story.
Right.
It's a story that's still being written.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, and maybe you can explore some of those connections between the Old Testament and the New Testament,
Mm-hmm.
or delve into the historical and cultural context surrounding these narratives.
Because there's always more to learn.
Yeah, there's always more to uncover.
Definitely.
So yeah, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Genesis.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I hope you learned something new
Me too.
and that you'll keep digging.
Yeah. Keep exploring.
Easy.